Hello, Factorio people. Welcome back to the Krastorio Reverse Mega Base. Today we're going to do roughly what we did last time. No, don't go, please. Except we're going to do it for output stations. Last time, if you remember, we made sure that the trains only came to only unloaded at the place. Sorry, let me start again. Last time we made sure that the trains went to load on uranium at the station where there was enough uranium to load. What we want to do this time is we want to make sure that trains only go to unload at the stations where they're needed. This means that you don't need... So we'll do electronic circuits, for example, electronic components I should say. And so we have a plastic train here that comes to unload the plastic, and one for the silicon, one for the glass. But this one is fully backed up. It doesn't need any ingredients, so it would be helpful if these trains went somewhere else. Now the first thing we need to know, obviously, and I kind of regret removing the global network before doing this, but a lot of our modules we've just built one copy of because we're not at that stage yet where we're fully needing everything. But we should do this bit. So our electronic circuit build made 48,000 and factoriolab.github.io says we need 140,000. So I built this on the assumption that we were going to have 3 copies of it. So let's go over there and sort that out as far away as possible. The benefit of doing it this way is you don't need one train for every station. You have a few trains going around and they unload and then they go to the next station that needs more plastic or more silicon or what have you. You lower the number of trains on the network by only sending the goods to where they're needed and not just having this catch-all scenario. If we copied this 3 times and we say, alright, well then we'll also have 3 times 3 trains. 3 plastic trains, 3 silicon trains, 3 glass trains. Or even worse, we'd probably double this up as well because this uses quite a lot. We would probably get away with not needing to have 6 plastic trains, just sourcing the electronic components. We will get away with fewer, but we're gonna see how that goes. I'm not particularly feeling it, to be honest with you. This whole endeavour is... the whole YouTube thing is getting a bit... Just checking the music was on. I talked about this briefly in the Elden Ring video, if you watched that as well, which obviously I don't expect you to have done. It's not a classroom. Sometimes sitting here in my room talking to myself for hours at a time. For 50 views, 4 likes and 1 dislike. It's challenging. It's challenging. You've got to have a thick skin for that. And I don't think I do. I don't think I do sometimes. So these boxes can hold 1, 2, 3 train wagons full. And will consume just over 2 wagons a minute. So we need to decide on if we want the buffers to have a lot more plastic than they... You know, we could have these filled, and then it probably makes more sense to have the capacity be more than 1 wagon's worth, and then only bring a train in when there is less than 2 wagons worth. Should we say that? Should we expand this to hold 2 wagons worth of No. We could expand it to have 3 wagons worth of plastic, just to be unlimited, but only send a train when there are less than 2 wagons worth. That sounds fine. Wagons worth sounds like wagon wheel. Have you ever had a wagon wheel, folks? And I will put this train on manual just so that we don't get an absolutely outrageous amount of plastic coming in early. Okay. So obviously first things first, need to hook up all of these chests to a signal. Alright, how are we going to do this? First things first, we need... Let's take the unloading one, because it will still be very helpful, I would imagine, for most things that we need. The stack size and the counting and stuff like that. So we'll put this here in the same way. So the stack size of plastic is 200. We want to count what we have coming in with the red wire as I. So this combinator just times the input of the red wire by 1 to get the output, just to change it into I, basically. So whatever it is here is just going to be I, which means that we don't have to reprogram these to say, oh, read the plastic input or what have you. This times the stack size by 320 to get as much as you can get in a train. And then this divides, so this is the one that we're going to need to change. So a train load is 64,000 plastic based on this, that is correct. 8 wagons of 8,000 plastic each, that is correct. So we need to change this one. This reads the input of 106,000. So we want to bring in a train when there is less than 2 wagons worth, 2 wagon wheels worth of plastic, which is in each box, for a total of, oh god, 64,000 in one train, so 128,000. So we're saying 2 wagons worth, right? So a train is actually... So maybe we could times this by 2 trains worth. So instead of 3,200, sorry, 320, 640 would be 2 trains worth. So only bring a train in when there are less than 2 trains worth here already. That might be overkill, but we'll see. So this is the one that's going to need to change. So only open the station when I is less than what is now T. T was a train's worth. I don't know if I should change this so that it's a bit more obvious what's going on. Stack size and minimum, M for minimum. Stack size times 640 is 2 trains worth. That's the minimum we want to open the station for. So when I is less than the minimum, the input is less than the minimum output, just output 1, which will then be the train limit, set train limit. Oh no, output, just output a single L, is that how that works? No, because L is now the output of... Alright, this is easy, as I say, I'm just not feeling it today, so... Arithmetic combinator. Maybe that's what's wrong. That's what's wrong. It doesn't need to be an arithmetic combinator, it needs to be a decider combinator. Inputs I and inputs M on the green wire. Where did I go? Why is this up there? It shouldn't be up there. I missed. Somehow I missed. It's better. So this is I and M. So condition if I, the items is less than M, the minimum, just output 1L. There we go. I just forgot that you needed a decider combinator instead. Is this facing the wrong way around? No, it kind of looks like it is. That's better. And then the train limit is 1 because there are less than 2 wagons of stuff here. Okay, right, so then you can carry on doing what you were doing. I always have a blocked nose. Maybe I'm ill. Maybe that's why I feel like absolute goddamn garbage these days. Sorry. It's very difficult putting yourself out there onto the YouTubes, you know. It'd be easy to just retreat and just not do anything and then just sit in bed 12 hours a day. That does sound quite nice, to be honest with you. I'm going to blow my nose momentarily. Let me just mute. It's such good content, this. It really just is absolutely the best. Okay. It works though, doesn't it? It should work, at least. So as the train comes back, we should see as the plastic item count goes above 100 and whatever I said, 128,000, we should see the train station close. 117, 118, 119, alright, here it comes. We should see this suddenly change to 0 as the... There it goes. Good. That should be okay. That was surprisingly easy. Was it not? Now this obviously won't stop the train from fully unloading, but it now won't bring another train in. As soon as this train can do something, so I'm already thinking of the downsides of this. The downsides are that this train will go to the plastic, and if nowhere needs plastic, then it's fine. The train will wait there. The second train that brings plastic around the base will wait here. The third train that will bring plastic around the base will not be able to come here because these will all have train limit 2 maximums because that's the size of our buffer stack. So they'll just wait at the last station they unloaded at because they can't go and load plastic. But as soon as somewhere needs plastic, this train will then move. So this now should just say destination full. So what we should be doing, what we could think about doing on an even higher level than that, is renaming the stations so that plastic in is just plastic. So like if we also copied that principle here, now the problem with that is that these are only small chests, so these will never be able to hold more than 1 wagon's worth. So maybe we need separate... Maybe we need to add another combinator to this, so as well as having the stack size, we have the minimum number of trains that we're going to want. That does sound sensible. So this uses 4 belts, so we want a lot of throughput, whereas another plastic station, like the one we were just looking at, Matter Data, this one, uses a tiny amount of plastic in comparison. Having 2 full wagons here makes no sense because we only use 0.3 wagons per minute. So what this combinator should also have a T for the number of full train loads that we want. So here we're saying that's 2. So then this combinator we need another arithmetic combinator that times the stack size by T before it then times it by... No, wait, that's overkill. That's not necessary. You need to keep the stack size separate because that can change. What doesn't change is the trains. So if we say, if I actually use a picture of a train, we're saying that that is 2, because we want 2 trains worth. We need to times the stack size by the number of wagons in the number of spaces in a full train, which is 320, and then times that by the number of trains that we want. So this does need to come back to 320 because we're timesing the stack size by the amount in a train. So let me just move this away again because we're going to need a bit more space here. But we then need another combinator here. So M is now no longer the minimum. What we're outputting here is T, which is a train load. And then we're taking this output here, and then on the green wire we'll take the train value here. So then now we're timesing T, which is the amount that a train can carry, by the number of trains minimum that we want, and then that is the minimum. That is the minimum. Which on the red wire goes where? No, on the green wire. On the green wire, sorry. So this green wire needs to go, and then this green wire can go there. This looks a bit ugly, so let's move this over a bit. So then this green wire is going here, and then this red. All we need to do now is hook up the red. Ah, that's annoying. It's fine. There should be enough space. What we need to make sure is that there's enough space in the really, really tight ones for this. So yeah, that's fine, as long as it's no more than 2 high. So that's okay. So then all the... Oh, there's no power. Alright, move it over a bit. Put it by the fuel. You know the fuel's always going to have room. So the red wire is the count of the plastic, and then we're also outputting the red wire L, which is the train limit here. So the train limit is 0 because if you look all the way over here on the left-hand side, in this little block, the input signal, a train load is 64,000 because the stack size is 200. 64 times 2, which is the number of trains we want. So all we ever need to change is the stack size and the number of trains that we want involved in that. So then we could actually start renaming all of our stations to not have this system. Instead of plastic to electronic components, we just have plastic in. Just everything is called plastic in, and plastic out, and plastic in. Or just plastic. Or plastic to, like, building or something. Plastic to assembler, or plastic to... I mean, assembler makes the most sense, even though not everything is actually going to be an assembler. Some of it will be quantum labs or chemical plants or what have you. As long as we know that that's the nomenclature, plastic to whatever we're doing, then we can just have a certain number of plastic trains roaming around the base. So this produces... Does this work out ratio? I can't remember. Oh no, that's a bit of a problem, isn't it? If I try and do this for... I was doing my best to make sure everything was built out ratio. You know what the best thing to do is to just look in here. We haven't made plastic in so long. Oh my god, we haven't made plastic in so long. Where is it all going? Alright, let's make this change now, shall we? Plastic to assemblers. Plastic input, basically, is what that means. So that is used This is even more things I have to change off camera because no one's going to want to watch this. I mean, no one's going to want to watch it anyway, but that's my point, isn't it? That's been my point this whole time. There as well. So you just go from plastic to this. Anywhere else uses plastic? Anywhere else? Trains, stations, search, plastic. No, just the two. Just the two. Okay, so then what we can do is we can take this, paste this over here as well. Spidertron, where have you gone? Thank you. So this will help with building new modules as well, because I'll just be able to copy and paste like all of this even, because this will have the fueling, it will have the chests of various sizes, the chests will be wired, and the wiring will go to the train station by itself. So that should be okay. Should be. And then if we notice that plastic throughput isn't quite good enough, we can just add more trains. Which may not help. Depends on how many plastic depots we need making plastic. Good, so you're sorted. Look these up. Why? I cannot reach. Red wire goes there, and the output goes there. So all we're changing this time, the stack size item is 2, but we only need 1 train worth at a time here, because obviously we use very little. So that makes the limit the same as a train load, 64,000. The input is only 50,000 at the moment. So the train limit is 1. So that should mean that this one... Oh no, this one won't, because this one is... Alright, so let's... If we send this off, the other one should immediately start moving, yes. It will unload as much as it can. Do we want to set the... Do we want to wait for the trains to empty, or do we want to just go, alright, it's empty, it's as full as it can be. So like in this scenario where it needs some plastic but not all of the plastic. That's asking for trouble, I feel like, because then this is going to go back here unbalanced, although it shouldn't really matter because there's balancer here. Now this one has nowhere to go because this train is... Okay. This shouldn't... This seems like it's working fairly well. Alright, Spidertron. How much... you've got combinators and stuff on you, don't you? Arithmetic, deciders... You don't have one for... Excuse me, for constant combinators. So, give you some constant combinators. Although I've got enough on me to do this for now. So then we'll go over here, back over here. We'll do the same for the silicon and the glass. So the reason I picked this is because these all have real inputs anyway. Although nothing actually comes and picks up the electronic components currently. Really? Really? That is a surprise to me. Do they go into red circuits? Yeah. Because not plastic in Krastorio 2, is it? Yeah, it's electronic components. So... But whatever, it's fine. So while I'm doing this, we can change these station names to be silicon to assembler. And glass to assembler. This will change all of the trains manifests automatically because all of the station names have now changed, so it just goes, well, fine, clearly you want that to be the new name. Alright, get out of the train, get out of the Spidertron, I should say. So you're fine, but don't give me the train stop names, just give me the wires. Oh no, I suppose if we're doing it like that, we should do it like this, seeing as these are all the same. That's kind of handy. Do not give me the train stop names, but also, yeah, but I need the new, oh good, I thought I'd copied the flipping roboports there for a moment. And you? So your train limits are fine, your train limits are fine. Okay. So then while we're here, we may as well do the other side of this as well. So give me all of this with the wires, but again, do not give me train stop names on this here. You have a slightly different limit. That's fine. Okay, so the stack size of electronic components is 200. So only open the stop when there is... Ah, right. I've already noticed a problem with this. This will send 3 trains, because I've set this limit to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3 trains. I don't want to send 3 trains because there's not room for 3 trains to wait. There is in fact only room for 2 trains to wait. So does that mean I have to make sure that all of these only ever have room for 2 trains? This will still be 3 because of the way I've done the math. Thinking. So obviously I could add another a decider combinator, which just says if L is less than 2, if L is more than 2, greater than or equal to 3, just output. I'd have to send that then through another. Ugh, this is annoying, isn't it? I don't want 3 trains to come here. I think the answer is just going to be to ignore this for now, while I don't have 3 trains doing this, and just make sure going forwards, as I set all of these up, that these warehouses are only ever limited to 2 trains worth. I think that's probably the answer. Whether I've had some warehouses just loading the whole thing completely is another question. I don't think I did. Nope, I did. Green circuits. But again, we can let that problem solve itself as individual trains move around. So like glass, we'll just check here that glass is... So the glass is already... So this is another one that needs fixing. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we only ever want the warehouses to be full of enough cargo for 2 trains, I suppose. So if the stack size is 200, that is, oh god, 2,000 times 8, 16,000 per warehouse. So I suppose we can just check that by making sure. Well, thankfully that doesn't do anything anyway. Plastic, I said 3 trains. Okay, well that needs to be fixed then, I suppose. Yeah, there's no point in making a fancy pants combinator here that just reduces any number that's higher than 2 down to 2. Because you're not gaining anything from that anyway. If you're saying the train limit's always 2, then what is the point in having this buffer here? I suppose it's so that if 2 trains come back to back, then a 3rd train can actually come in. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Right, so this is all working. So these trains aren't going anywhere now because these are full. But if we do the big old copy-paste job on this bad boy, just make sure everything else is fine with it. Nothing else we want to change. This is working. Stack size 200. I was just thinking, can I do this here? Can I do something like this on this side as well and say I only want 2 trains to come here? I can't think of a good way off the top of my head, and I don't want to sit here in silence trying to work it out, so... And I'm not doing any editing today, because no thanks. Alright, so we'll assume that this is fine, if not, whatever. So take this, bung this somewhere. Where are electronic components even going to go? They're going to red circuits for sure. Give me the recipe book. Should have just searched for components, really. They go in... Speed modules? We're going to need speed modules for rocket control units? Do I do that anywhere at the moment? Don't think so. Military tech cards. Prod modules. Prod modules are needed in this. Aha, so there is somewhere that we could potentially be sending these electronic components. I just never set it up. Okay. Okay. So yeah, maybe we should bring them over here so they're vaguely close to the... No, I should fill these up in a vague order, I suppose. Big electric pole is in the way. Well, at least it's not large roboport is in the way. Off you go. Spidertron. And Mall Train. Go over here and help me out, would you? I'm not in the Spidertron. Wow. That's good. I suppose the question is, what did I want to get out of doing YouTube? And I wanted to have fun and make content and just generally be a cool dude. And I guess that's the issue, isn't it? Is it's just like, I didn't expect this to turn into a job or anything like that, but if you know, like, is it a hobby? The problem is society wants you to just sort of monetize all of your hobbies. Anything that you do needs to add commercial value to the world because of capitalism. Capitalism just wants you to be monetizing all of your spare time, and if there's any spare time that you have where you're not adding value to the world, then you are a failure. So, yeah. I like playing Factorio. Do I need to play it on camera is the question. Would I get more value out of just playing it for fun? Or do I need to be sat here talking to myself? Who knows? Who knows? Right. Build! I will set up Spidertrons to help me do this bit. So what do we not have? We don't have any more long-handed inserters. We already ran out of belts. Okay, well this is the first actual test of the builder train. So in theory, these stations should just immediately open. It has. This train is saying no path because obviously none of the rails have been done yet. My roboports. Belts, underground splitters, loaders, inserters, medium containers, and rails. Give me loads of rails and we'll carry on. If I'm going to get Spidertrons to do this, why did I bother loading up a train? Good question. Good question. I think maybe I just thought that this would be better than Spidertrons. Hey, the fuel train's coming in. See, look, the automation is beginning. The automation. This is all the work we've done. Why did those logistics bots? Oh, because of my limit on these. I should probably get rid of these as a limit now. So logistics bots can help you build in the edge case. Look, here comes the plastic train of its own volition because this station... Oh god, I love this game. Logistics bots will become construction bots if there is the item in your logistics trash slots that needs building in the area. So what's currently happening is that my personal roboports are out of juice. And the glass and the silicons come in. Oh, it's beautiful. Interesting that these are... Yeah. I ran out of belts. Belts is the only thing. Belts and purple chests. Off it goes. Look at that. Glorious. Absolutely glorious. Yeah, maybe Spidertrons was the better idea here. Give me some more belts. Purple chests, it said, didn't it? I do have those, yep. Give me half a stack of them. Alright, you can go back. And load up. It's happening. Oh, don't get hit by a train. Oh, that's that train turning around. Fair enough, I'll allow it. Alright, that wasn't too painful, was it? How quickly is this actually going to empty the stuff? Like, I would imagine that until this gets backed up, that this actually is not. Electronic components was a good example just because I was there. And I had all of the ingredients coming from other depots anyway, so they weren't infinity chests. So I use that as an example. It's not a good example in the long term because electronic components is something we're going to use a lot of. So Spidertron, we were going to make sure that electronic components actually... Why? Electronic components actually get picked up from somewhere and used. So let's go over here and sort that out. Just get rid of the infinity chests. And we'll call that a day. A relatively short episode, I suppose, all in all, but I'm glad I got through it without having too much of a mental breakdown, at least. Part of me wants to start asking for money. Only because then... But that just is like... That's almost the problem really, isn't it? It's just like, well, if I'm not doing this for any value, any personal gain for me, then why am I bothering? Isn't that exactly what I was just complaining about? You don't have to remove the contents of logistics chests. You won't suddenly get 200 electronic components in your inventory every single time I go through these and I do this, because I don't want to then do this and have my inventory full of electronic components. But it turns out it doesn't do that. So, you know, that was nice of them. That was nice of them to make sure that that didn't happen. Oh, I don't have enough long-handed inserters for this job. How did they get done? Oh, they're in my logistics trash slots, weren't they? Fascinating. Yeah. Fascinating. Well, we'll leave this. It's actually quite a useful way of doing it, I suppose. Leaving these limits. Yeah, it effectively gives you an extra 4 rows of inventory slots. Cool. Okay, so... we want to, first of all... Oh my god, it uses so many. It uses so many. Components. 37,000 at its peak, 27,000 at its nadir. What was that all about? Oh my god, it uses so many. Alright, well, we'll say this is a 2 wagons thing as well. 1, 2, 3, 4. I always have to count this because I always manage to get it wrong. We don't yet have a blueprint for this, but it's easily done. So you go up to there. Alright, so then we're going to take the one... any of these. I'll put this in my blueprint book in a minute. This goes here, and then goes underneath the fuel. Spidertron, please vacate the area. It's quite confusing. Red wire of count goes to here. Red wire of train limit goes to here. And then we just need to set these things we want. The stack size of the electronic components is 200, and we want at least 2 train loads to be here at all times. I suppose by that logic we don't need to limit this. That will make sure that the trains will always be able to empty, especially into this. It won't make any sense onto the single chest builds like where we were just talking about the data cards. That's not data cards. To the data cards. So this train will just be here forever. Well, not forever, of course. This train will be here until these chests become full. But then I suppose that chest is going to immediately then start to empty itself. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We could have just set this to train limit 1 and be done with it and just have a train always be here. A train is going to basically always be here with this system. I maybe could have foreseen this and only ever used medium containers for these builds to ensure that a train could always empty and leave and not necessarily need... I mean, the way to fix it, of course, is to have all of these empty into 2 trains, into 2 chests, every wagon empty into 2 chests, and then at least then this plastic train will be able to go and fulfill another job, because currently it's just sat here doing nothing. Yeah, that's probably a sensible idea, isn't it? So another job to do is anywhere where there is low throughput is to do this. So then that will involve me going back and hooking the extra. So this way the train will always empty and move on, rather than just be sat here waiting and not come back until a lot more of the plastic has actually been used. That does sound a lot more sensible. Right, well, what was I doing? I'm getting electronic components. Ah, automatic train fueling. You'll have to see it. What do you mean? What do you mean there's no fuel? You better be on your way. I'm sure you are. I'm sure you are. Alright, so go to literally any electronic component station. Doesn't matter. The programming will sort it out until you're full. And then come back until you're empty. I've just thought something else. Quite frustratingly. This train will empty from here. Will empty all of its things here, and then if it can go to one of these, it will. It will load up, but then it might not necessarily come. Oh no, of course, no, because I'm changing this to be this. Yes, no, it's fine, I'm just dense, don't worry. I'm just dense. If it comes here and load but have nowhere to go, then it doesn't matter that that the trains will be stuck here, because there's nowhere for them to go. And then if there are 2 trains waiting here, and then there's another train at an electronic component input going, oh, I can't go and load up, then that's fine, because yeah, no, I covered this already. I just forgot. I forgot that I had to rename this to this for it to work. I was thinking, oh, the train's going to try and come back here, but it won't. Alright. I'm sure there's 100 things I've forgotten, and I'm sure in the comments you'll be shouting at me that, oh, this doesn't work because of this, but please, let me know. Please. Please. And, yeah, I'll be alright. Today's Tuesday, so I'm recording this one to go live tomorrow. I will desperately try and find the energy, the mental fortitude to record another one for Sunday, because I'm away for a bit, so I can't record it on Saturday or Sunday, so I'll try and get one in the bag. If an episode does appear on Sunday, then consider yourselves lucky, I suppose. But the Elden Rings are already done, because I was trying to learn how to use my video editor, so I was just busting them out. Right, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, please let me know with a like, comment, subscription, etc. And if you want to see more Factorio... Oh, I said that bit. Yep, this is terrible. Terrible content. I'm a bad man. See you next time. Bye-bye.